And we're back. Stopped last night because didn't realize going over 300 fucking anime uh would take a while. So yeah, I think we stopped at like fucking if Inferno Cop, I guess. If we didn't, Tanara no Sekikun, it's fine. Uh, yeah, it's fine. Inferno Cop. This is the trigger thing. Inferno Cop is a funny show. Uh, like as far as I know, Inferno Cop was like a passion project that Trigger made. Uh, they were supposed to be working on like their main show, and then they were only allowed to work on this show like an hour a day or some shit like that. That's the story, and yeah, it's very cheaply made, but the comedy's amazing. Uh, especially like especially in the beginning, it kind of falls off. I think later on because the joke gets old. Uh, but still, very funny show. They made Space Patrol Luluco in the same kind of way later on, and again, same concept of like a kind of a cheaply made show, but that one's a lot better. Uh, Still, Inferno Cop, fantastic. Like it's a weird Adult Swim type of comedy coming from a Japanese company, so it was a good time. Midai Nikki Readout. This is the fuck you ending of Midai Nikki. Uh, I think I said before, I like Midai Nikki uh, more than a lot of people. Uh, Midai Nikki is trash. It's a very trashy, like, death game show with terrible people. Like, but I don't know. A strange part of me enjoys it, enjoys the chaos, and enjoys just the batshit crazy story. And this is the ending that just kind of like, oh, we're just gonna give the characters what they wanted, and fuck you if you wanted stakes. And I don't know because I didn't care too much about the story in the first place, like how it ended up. I enjoyed that. Yeah, this was fine. This was fun. Whatever. Let's see. World God Only Knows. Again, I think I mentioned it before. World God Only Knows is fine. Uh, didn't age well. It was funny when I was a kid, but it's not great. A big thing. I actually read the manga of this when I was a kid, and I was very disappointed because when it got to like the later seasons, they skipped a massive part of the manga where he meets like the the rest of the cast that shows up in I think season 3. So like this new season starts, and it's just like randomly time has skipped, and we have all these characters that we just assume that the guys met already and romanced already, and we have no connection to them because you probably didn't read the manga, you just watched the anime. So yeah, it doesn't really work out. uh Still, it was fine. I don't hate it. uh this one, I know there's an English fucking translation. My Little Monster. This one I actually really like, but it's only 13 episodes. Like, uh I enjoy these type of romances where it's like two characters that are kind of opposites. This guy right here is kind of an asshole, and she's like brainy kid, and he likes her. I guess he like loves her in a very like, I don't know. It's sort of seen as feral kind of way where he's just massively interested in her, like a dog would be interested in his master, and she's just kind of like brainy chick who you know you know, likes him, I guess, in a way, but she's too busy doing her own thing. And I don't know. I read the manga. Manga's good as well. It's a decent rom com, kind of rom com. Yeah, I like these type of characters, but again, just way too short. You know, just yeah, just wish there was more. Miraniki. To those that don't know, Miraniki is the story of a death game with like a bunch of people who all get a type. Miraniki means future diary. They all get a special power that sort of revolves around the idea of a diary that tells the future. So the main character, he has a cell phone that tells him how he's going to die. It gives him his death flags, so it allows him to avoid death because he knows what's coming. uh, everyone else has that type of like future diary as well, where uh, they can see someone else's death. Like the character Gasai Yuno, who's the very obvious secondary character. She's a yandere and she's in love with the main kid, and she has a diary that says whenever the main character is gonna die. I think that's what it is. So like she can just know everything about him, and she kind of stalks him. Like she has like the stalker diary, and then everyone else has that kind of thing where I think one like this little kid has a diary where he can draw out the future that's gonna happen. Uh, some people's diaries are better than the others. Either way, the concept of the show is batshit crazy. Like, and there's like really fucked up scenes that happen. So it's weird. Maybe you can call it a guilty pleasure. Maybe just I know it's dumb. I know it's bad, but just part of me really enjoyed it. I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid. Oh god. Maybe I am stupid. Usagi Drop. Usagi Drop is a cute story about this guy who I like members of his family dies and they leave their daughter uh, parentless, and all the adults around her daughter are like, I don't really want that. Like that kid, I think she's like she's an illegitimate child. I think so. I'm not sure, but basically she's an abandoned child, and the family around her looks like they're just gonna abandon her, or they see her as a burden. And this guy, nice middle-aged guy, single, he's like, I'll take care of her. And yeah, it's the story of kind of this father-daughter relationship where this guy who's like kind of he's just a working man, and he puts in the effort to raise this girl who's not really his family, who's not his daughter, but it ends up becoming that way. It's a really cute story. Don't read the manga, because the manga for some fucking reason becomes incestuous between this father-daughter relationship. Now, of course, you can say technically, they're not blood related, but that doesn't fucking matter. Family is not. I mean, maybe this is just my opinion. I think it's a pretty popular opinion, but if you are raised with someone as if they are family, they are family. If you grew up with a sister who's not your sister, but y'all lived in the same house for, I don't know, 15, 16, 17 years, that's your sister. Don't fuck that. If you raised a little girl into adulthood and as a father figure, you're her father. This isn't a revelation. And I just don't know why they wrote, because this was a cute story. It was nice. He worked so hard to raise her, and even the manga starts off fine. It's just her as kind of an adult, and it just gets weird. I hate it. Why did they do that? Ugh, fuck. I gave it a 7 because it was good, and then they fucked it up. Okay, Detective Conan movie. This is the one about Kaito Kid. It's cool. Mermaid Aniki. My anime list has this thing where they just fucking multiply. Like they give separate sections for every single fucking like thing that they do. I wish they could just condense all the shows into like one thing. So like, okay, we have Maid Aniki, then the OVAs, then the side for blah blah blah. I don't need that shit. I wish they just condense all the shows, especially like the ones that are like separated into seasons. I know it lets you like uh it lets you rate each individual season, but it's just kind of pointless. I have to re fucking uh rate everything, and it's stupid. Whatever. Sayonara Tsuba Sensei. I like it. It's great. Good comedy. Very dark comedy. I never finished it, to be perfectly honest. It gets kind of too much. It's a Shaft show, so it's very weird. Uh, and it's the height of weird. Like depressed teacher with his fucking zany classroom is hilarious, and like it's a damn good show. Uh, but just I don't know, could never get through it. But it's a 7. It's good. How did he sue me? All right. Haruhi Suzumiya. I don't like it as much as a lot of people. A lot of people love this show. I just don't like. I get the concept of the show, and it was probably great for its time. And I still listen to like the music. You know, I'm one of those cringy anime nerds who listens to anime music, like for fun. Uh, I don't know. I like Kyon. I don't like Haruhi Suzumiya. I don't like her. I think she's just kind of an annoying bitch. Uh, no one deserves to be that full of themselves ever. I don't care how hot you are. Whatever. Maybe that's a stupid opinion. I've always planned on rewatching Haruhi Suzumiya because I feel like I'm the one who's in the wrong. Because it's an acclaimed show, but every time I watch it, it's like, man, I don't I don't get it. There's nothing. I'm supposed to cheer for this. Is it a romance? I don't know. It's just a show about how great this chick is and how she's not allowed to know that she's God, or else the universe ends and then it gets fucking weird. And I there's no point. Maybe I'm missing something. Someday I'm gonna rewatch it because maybe I'm wrong. All right, Zoids. I watched it as a kid on Cartoon Network. Uh, I I don't know if this is actually a seven, but I really enjoyed it as a kid. Like I loved the Liger Zero. I loved the competition where the fucking judge comes down from space and they have an official Zoids match. And the main Zoid, the Liger, has all these different like functions, and then I don't know, it really sold toys very well. Uh, someday I'll, I know I say this a lot. Someday I'll rewatch it and see if it was actually as good as I remember. But yeah, it was meant to sell toys. Hikaru no Go. Uh, this should have just been a part of the anime. Um, to be perfectly honest, Hikaru no Go is actually uh my personal favorite sports anime. Yeah. Hikaru no Go is just really, really good. I This seven that I gave it doesn't really it's just I don't know why I gave it a seven because it should be in like a nine or something. Because it's still a part of the show, but like I don't know. Hikaru no Go is amazing. I'll talk about it later. It's amazing. Uh Slayer's next. The entire Slayers thing I watched it when I was a kid. Again, I like Lena Inverse. She's a really cool character. This is a very old show, and it has very old character designs that I just love. It feels like I'm playing an old video game, like one of those old Final Fantasies. And Slayer's Next just has a lot of cool shit. Uh, Old school adventure story where magical girl with, by the way, a very interesting personality. She's like a smartass, and she's just this powerful mage who fucks shit up. And she's followed around by this like crew of people who are also badasses. Like, and she fights evildoers and it's like this old Saturday morning cartoon. And it works so well. And I think it actually holds up. Uh, there should, I'm going to rewatch that too someday. Fuck, man, I hate anime. Uh, this is fucking, this is the Law of Ueki. Not many people remember it. The gimmick of this actually reminds me of Zatch Bell. Uh, there's like a fucking tournament to decide who becomes God, and everyone gets a a talent. Everyone gets a superpower, and the main character Ueki, his superpower is to turn trash into trees, and everyone has that kind of superpower. And every time he beats somebody, he gains a blank talent, right? I'm just reading it on the thing. I don't remember. I remember he gains a talent, and every time loses a talent that he already had until he's just left with nothing. But he gains like it's a really cool shonen anime. Uh, I enjoyed it. didn't end. It just kind of got canceled, I think. But it was fun, and no one knows about it. Uh, and this character he's a funny guy because every time he loses a talent, he loses like a really important talent. Like he's used to be a good runner, and he loses the ability to run. But then he gains a talent. He's like, you can choose any talent you want, right? And he chooses like the stupidest fucking talents. He's like, yeah, I'm really good at telling jokes. Like, it's fucking useless. Like he could have chosen anything. He could have chosen to get his running talent back, but no. Like I want talents that are just like good for impressing people. I don't know. It's a good one. I probably overrated a bit, but it was a fun time when I was young. Full Metal Alchemist: The Conqueror of Shambhala. Uh, yeah. So me and my brother have very in maybe it's not interesting opinions. Fuck it, I'm just saying. We have a very unique opinion about Full Metal Alchemist. Uh, Full Metal Alchemist, the original, is fantastic. It's a 10 out of 10. And I like the movie. Conqueror of Shambhala, uh, I don't think it's as bad as people say. Like, did I need that ending? No. But I don't think it hurt the show. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's something that they did to the characters in this show or in this movie that completely ruins the original Full Metal Alchemist, but I didn't see it. Uh, like, and also like there's a song at the beginning of the movie that's really beautiful. I don't know, that kind of hits me. It hits me well. I really enjoyed the original Full Metal Alchemist. Brotherhood is also good. Both of these shows are good. Brotherhood's worse. Brotherhood just Brotherhood is great if you've watched the original because you already have the context of the characters. But Brotherhood kind of shaves down the characters and makes them less interesting. Like, and also the characters that they introduce, I don't think are that great. Uh, I think it has a better idea of what it wanted to be, and maybe it tells a more coherent story where the original is maybe a bit more vague. But I just love the original's darkness and depth. Like, I love how much time it's spent on the war in Ishval. Like, I could write a whole fucking video about Fullmetal Alchemist and fucking Brotherhood and the differences and how much I love the original over the Brotherhood, even though I believe it's the difference between a 10 and a 9. Either way, movie's great. Watch it if you like the original. G Gundam. Really don't have much to say about G Gundam. It's fun and it's stupid and fun. Like I just love. We've turned the world into an arena, and all these horrible things happen on this world to the people. But you know what? At least there's big giant Gundam fights. Uh, yeah, Domon Kashu is a great design character, and yeah, uh, it's just kind of cool. But there's no substance to it at all. Full Metal Panic. I'm just gonna review all of them together. Uh, Full Metal Panic is a mediocre mecha anime that is held up by a mediocre high school anime. And together, they make a good anime. There are a bunch of people who, because, Fumofu is the example of like, uh, because Fullmetal Panic is the one where it introduces the characters and, it has the setting of like this guy, Sosuke Sagura. He is this child soldier who gets assigned to protect Kaname Chidori, who is this anime girl in a school and she's not allowed to know that he's military at first, and he's just kind of this weird, uh, like he doesn't know social cues, and he thinks everything's an assassination, right? So he's protecting her in really over the top ways, like he's bringing like guns to school, and he like every time something even like mundane happens, like he's like "Get down," and he just sends in a fucking flashbang and just he's like a military freak and everyone thinks he's weird and she thinks he's weird but like he's kind of sweet. uh and eventually shit goes down, and she realizes, oh, he actually really is like special forces. Holy shit! And that's a fun story. Fullmetal Panic season one's great. Fumofu is hilarious because it focuses on the story part, or not the story part, the school part, and it's a pure comedy. And a lot of people say, "Oh, this show would be better as just Fumofu," right? And I completely disagree. I think you kind of need both. It's like Persona. Some people like uh, the school aspect of Persona better than the RPG, and then vice versa. Some people like the RPG over the school. They'd take one over the other. But you need both, I think, to make this show work. And when it works, it works. It's a good show. Very old school. And yeah, uh, interesting mecha designs, or maybe not designs, but like mecha gimmicks. Like, uh, yeah, it was a good time. Dan Angel, watching it when I was a kid on DirecTV. Uh, yeah, very old school shojo. Uh, Kid Daisuke Niwa or Daisuke Miwa or something like that. He has the soul of a phantom thief called Dart, who's this sexy angel with like black wings, who steals magical treasures from like the authorities. Like he always announces, like he's all cool and Daisuke's lame, and like it's kind of a romance, kind of a thriller. Uh, and yeah, I really like it. I think it actually holds up. Uh, it's cute with a side of action and a side of romance, and yeah, it still works. Again, old school, like early 2000s, 90s anime. Maybe mid 90s. I don't know. I think it feels like early 2000s. One sec. Yep, oh 03. Yeah, that's about right. Hmm. Uh, really good stuff. And if I'm correct, the the uh this guy, Dark, is voiced by what's his name? That one guy in English. The dub is great. I really like the dub. You should watch the dub, but you might have to get over one particular man being there, uh, Mr. Edward Elric. But whatever. Dean Angel's fine. Uh, Rurouni Kenshin. The I think this is the movie. Is it the movie? Uh, yeah, I like Rurouni Kenshin. Yeah, yeah, this is the movie. Uh, I like the show. The movie, I wasn't a big fan of. I like Rurouni Kenshin because it's a mix of comedy and action, and the whole point of the show is like he used to be a manslayer, now he's not, and he's just this nice guy who's trying to win through peace. And going through the story of him as a manslayer, of course, it's interesting, and maybe I'm just dumb. Maybe I'm the dumb one for not liking it, but it bored me. It just bored me. I like Rurouni Kenshin with a bit of comedy. I think it works when it's a bit lighthearted, because it has like tonal shifts that really work. Where at one point they're just, everything's nice and friendly. Like it's one of the nicest samurai anime, but then it can just suddenly get dark like that. Like it's really good at that. So when it's all one thing or all another, it becomes kind of pointless to me. Ooh, this is a new one. Uh, yeah. I'm standing on 100,000 lives, something like that. Yeah, I'm standing on a million lives. Million lives. This was subversive as fuck. This is uh, trying to be, or pretending to be a generic isekai anime, and it is. But it's sort of taking it and you know making it. It's making the stakes and the consequences of what they're doing in the isekai world and treating them with the full gravity of it. Like when this guy kills somebody, like at first he's like, "Oh, it's a video game, whatever." But over time they realize, "Oh wait, no, you guys are just being transported into an alternate universe. You're actually killing people." And he's like, "Oh, fuck, I'm actually killing people." And like, there's actual stakes in this show, and it's good. They're going through it, and it's not. I don't feel like it's trying to make me jerk off. I don't feel like it's trying to give me a power fantasy. It's just a dark fantasy, and it works. You know, though this chick, this purple hair chick, is the most infuriating piece of shit ever. Like, she was like, me and my brother call her Mega. We call her Megu Trash because she's like Megumin, right? But she's awful. Like everything about her is just she's terrible. Like, oh man, yeah, you have to watch the show. It's a good time. If you have time, watch it. Ooh, Tower of God. I really like Tower of God. Tower of God's great. I'm reading it. It's good. Uh, it started off really bad. Like the first episode is just, I thought it was pretentious, but then as it goes on, you learn to love the cast and like the main character. He's interesting, and then this bitch Rachel is just so fuck. Oh man, uh, I've read quite a bit of Tower of God, and it gets crazy. And if they can adapt any, like even half of it, this show will just blow up. It'll be like Attack on Titan levels of crazy. And also the art style works. Like this is a really good design, and like really good audio and really good music, and just it's compelling. Unfortunately, I don't think people liked it all that much. Like, and that's sad. I hope it continues because there's so much to this story, and you can't just leave it off on what happened at the end of season 1. Like there has to be something. Unfortunately, the payoff for that doesn't happen for a long time. So even if they make a season 2, I'm not sure they'll get there. I hope there's money in it. I hope they made something so they can continue. Just man, because this was a really good show. Beastars. I'm waiting for Netflix to make season 2 because I really enjoyed season 1. Beastars is like uh, it's just going. It's comparing human relationships to animal relationships, and it's sort of mixing those two, and it's creating a lot of like. There's a lot of psychology in there. You know, uh, it's complex, and I like it. Uh, it is a sorry, it is a furry anime, but I don't feel like it's true. I mean, it definitely is trying to hit that demographic, but you don't have to be afraid to enjoy it. Uh, if you are, then you'll enjoy it even more, of course. Uh, but yeah, just really dives very deep into the psychological nature of like people and society. When you compare us to animals, and this sort of like alpha, alpha animal versus like you know it focuses on like meat eaters versus like vegetarians, and it sort of compares those to you know uh more aggressive people versus more like uh I guess just for like non-aggressive people. um there's a lot to this show. Better people than me can go into it. uh there are some people who probably won't understand what it's trying to do, like, but they're stupid. I don't know, they're stupid. Great show, fucking great. Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone, yeah, it's fun. It's an 8. It's very good. Love the designs. I love the concept. It's a good shonen anime. I All right, because the newest season is happening, and every time he's about to build something, I'm like, okay, great. What are you building now? Oh, you're building a fucking waffle iron or something. It's like this waffle iron is gonna help us win the war against the big bad guy. And I'm just like, okay, cool, man. I believe you. I feel like a gun would help too. And I feel like guns are easier to make than like a cell phone or something. But like it's weird. He has this. They explain it all. Why what they're doing is important, but I don't buy it. It's still good. You know, I'm complaining about it even though I really like the show. Uh, I hope it has a big plot because obviously the big thing is learning why this happened. You know, and I hope that's as compelling as what they're doing right now. Because it's weird because season 2 is called Stone Wars, and it's this war between these two tribes that they're doing, and you feel like that would be a later thing that they would do in a shonen anime, right? But they're doing it in season 2, and season 1 was only 24 episodes. So like, I hope they have enough steam to continue as long as possible, or as long as they need to, and I hope whatever they reach is worth it. Ooh, Oreski. Oreski's fucking hilarious. This guy, this main character, is an inspiration to all mankind. He goes for the belt. Like, he is the world heavyweight champion of slaying women. Like, he just wants everybody. And it's hilarious because it's trying to like subvert your expectations like in the first because he's like this nice anime guy, right? But the more you learn about him, the more you learn that he's really just trying to take advantage of the anime situation that he's in. It's a very fourth wall breaky show, and it's very funny. It's funny if you have watched a lot of anime rom-coms, especially like the harem genre type, because it's playing off of that. And of course, I'm this is a Silver Link show, right? Let's see. Is it a Silver Link show? It feels like a Silver Link. It's not it's a Kadokawa. That's good enough. That's close enough. Yeah, very funny, incredible final episodes. Um, it hits. I hope they do not. I think they're gonna continue it. I hope they don't. I really do. Like this is what they have is fine. They don't need anything more. This is it. Yeah. Uh, My Hero Academia. I'll just say, My Hero Academia is a great shonen show. Uh, I thought it was going to be the next Naruto, and I'm not necessarily wrong. I do think they need to get to the point, and they need to find purpose because it's an amazing show. The cast is great. I think people give Deku too much shit, and I had mentioned in I think a previous video, or the previous part that what's it called? Deku's problem is that he doesn't have a goal. Like his goal is just to be the replacement for All Might. He's going to be the greatest superhero of all time, and like, yeah, it's a goal, but he's not really challenged on it that much. The big challenge is him being strong enough, and it's sort of like the nature of his power is that he just kind of decides when he's strong enough. Like I think the worst fight is when he fought against that muscle guy, and he's just like, I'm just gonna go, uh, one for all times a million, and at that point, or you're that's kind of pointless. It feels like you're just choosing to be stronger than him, and it sucks because his power is so interesting, or it was so interesting. Now it's just kind of I become electric and I'm strong. Um, that being said, I really like this show, and it's been a fucking 8 to sometimes a 9. It has good animation, it has great characters and great design. It's it kind of cheats because it's a shonen anime made after the pretty much the death of the big three. Besides, not One Piece, of course. One Piece is nowhere near dead, but like past the era of Naruto, where it knows all the trappings of a shonen anime and it can avoid them, and it does really well at avoiding them. But in that, it's also not taking as many risks as I would like for it to take. I want it to be a bit darker, and I want it to tell me what its virtues are. because I don't know what the end game of this show really is. Like, just a peaceful world, I guess, but like, what's it trying to do? And maybe that's the issue with long form shonen anime because they need a big thing. And if they don't have a big thing, it's hard to justify them being so long. But still really enjoy it. I watch it every time it comes on, and I think a new season's coming up this year, so that'd be nice. Yeah. Bunny Girl Senpai. Bunny Girl Senpai is great. The main character, the main couple, is amazing. They are so compatible with each other. Uh, like, uh, this show has this. It's mysterious, but also mundane. I think it's compared to Monogatari, which, by the way, Monogatari, I have never really seen. Everyone else has seen it, apparently. Not me. I've also never seen JoJo. Or I think I've seen like the first two seasons of JoJo. It's fine. Uh, but yeah, Buddy Girl. Uh, the name probably fails it a bit because I imagine there are some people who see the name and they're like, okay, this is like kind of a pervy anime. But no, the entire point is this guy who like just meets all these girls and they all have a thing that's going on with them that's sort of compared to like a scientific phenomenon. So like the first girl he meets is the main character, or the main girl, who becomes his girlfriend, by the way, very easily, or not very easily, but like, like they have a relationship and that's part of the show, and a lot of anime don't do that. Uh, like she's like she can't be seen. Like she's just like walking around invisible to everyone except for him. Everyone is forgetting she existed, and it, she's doing that, and it's because of like her mental hangup. She has a mental hangup about the attention that's on her, and it's weird that in this world, if you have, they call it adolescent syndrome, it manifests as like a weird power or a weird phenomenon. There's this other girl who uh, she keeps Groundhog Daying herself, and the only person who notices the Groundhog Day effect is the main character. Uh, so like he has to sort of figure out her mental hangup, and it just kind of goes like that. Every new girl has a new thing, and it's really compelling and really nice and funny. It's also fun while being dramatic as well. The movie's great too, by the way. You should watch the movie. Yeah, fantastic. Megalobox. The music is a 9, shows a 7. That's what I said. I just actually recently rewatched Megalobox, and yeah, Megalobox. I think it. I don't know. I think people were expecting, something of length. Uh, Also, Megalobox is kind of debates you a bit because you expect, okay, so it's boxing, but they have robot hands, right? And like that's the whole gimmick. But then the main character gets a gimmick called his name is Gearless Joe, and he doesn't use the robot hands. He just uses regular hands, and he beats everyone with regular hands, and everyone has these like, fancy robot hands, and it sort of makes you think, okay, well then robot hands aren't cool, right? But they're supposed to, that's the gimmick of the show. Like, why would you do that? It's like if we're watching Zoids and the guy gets out of his Zoid and is like, you know what? Fuck Zoids. I'm gonna use my own flesh and bones. And he gets on all fours and attacks the other Zoids and wins somehow. What's the point of the Zoids then? Uh, and the final, I'm just gonna spoil it. I don't care. You can skip. The final fight is, the main guy, his main opponent, takes off his robot hands, and it's just him fighting the other guy, and they don't have robot hands. It's like, so this is just a boxing match. Why would you do that? The whole point is the robot hands. Uh, it's still fun. It's a good show. It's only 13 episodes, and it was fine. But yeah, got a bit baited. Soriori, uh, inspirational as fuck. Uh, it's one of those four girls go out and do a thing kind of anime. This time is four girls go and go to Antarctica, and you might think to yourself, oh, well, maybe like anime girls do a lot of crazy things. So why is that impressive. Well, they make it impressive because Antarctica isn't a place you just fucking go to. It might as well be on another planet. Like the only people who go there are like fucking scientists. You don't live in Antarctica. You have to like get permission from your government sometimes. Like, and even then, when you go there, it's a fucking frozen wasteland. So you need all this protection and all this like thing. And these are girls in fucking I think like high school who just go there, like, and it changes their lives and they find themselves, and it's inspirational. People are reminded of Kaon, and they're not necessarily wrong. And yeah, it's a great show, inspirational, makes you want to go travel. You should watch it. Devilman Crybaby. Maybe this score's a bit low, but Devilman Crybaby, of course, is great. Like it's edited by or edited. It's animated by that one asshole. What's his fucking name? Yeah, Masaaki Yuasa. Yeah, he makes a lot of crazy shit. Like, let's see what this asshole's made. Yeah, yeah, he's made a lot of crazy shit. Fucking, ooh, I'm gonna watch this one. Fucking don't mess with Isaac Ken, whatever the fuck is. I've heard a lot of good things about that one. But yeah, he makes weird shit. Nothing looks like what he does, and this is his big Netflix show, and it's great. It's fucking crazy and dark and bloody. It reminds me of like an old school, like one of those old school anime that you would see on fucking HBO or Showtime, where it's just a bunch of blood and gore and sex and violence. And there's a point to it, and I think it kind of works. But honestly, there's some fucking horrific imagery in it, and maybe I'm just a little bitch, but I could only ever watch this one. Like there's a scene that's just fucked up, and it haunts my mind, and uh, watching it was tough because of what was going on. But it's great, incredible animation, and yeah, really high concept story. Maybe deserves higher than an 8, but I gave it an 8. It's very good. New Game. I love New Game. New Game is great. It's a story of these girls who are making a video game in a video game company. Uh, it's like there's a genre of anime where it's like let's take a job and put anime girls in it. And in this case, uh, I pose a question: Can an anime be filled with only best girls? And New Game is that example. Uh, Also, it's great because they're all adults, so it's less weird. Uh, yeah, very cute show. It doesn't skimp over how hard it is to make a video game. It's still like it's a cute show that's meant to show these girls like struggling, but they still persevere. There's no real. It's not like fucking what's that other one? The one where they make the anime, Shirabako, where there's just like really hardships, like a lot of hardship that in comes to making anime. These girls they make it through, and uh, yeah, it just kind of shows their daily life and their ambitions, and you know, it's a cute show. I had a good time, and yeah, Hajime's best girl easily. Like she's so fucking hot. Uh, I've never known how to fucking say this. Sure, Zore children. Yeah, this is cheating. Me and my brother call this the cheating anime. Uh, yeah, because it's one of those shows that's like it's a bunch of different stories all put in one. They're all in the same school and like they kind of all know each other, but like it switches from like two characters relationships to another one. Usually every episode like has like three different character relationships going on, and it's sort of like the climax of every romance anime. It's sort of like that, but every episode. So like you can't do that. Like it's cheating. because it's really good too. So like you get to see the climax of like four different stories all happening every single episode, and they get to only show you the good parts, and they get to skip over the boring parts of any like other kind of romance anime. That being said, there's not much to it. It's just like, it's a romance anime. It's nice. It's a rom com, and some parts of it are very funny, very funny. The second couple right here, the ones in the blue line, uh, they're the best one, but like, easily. But yeah. This one, Lolly Hitler. Oh wait, I skipped. Kobayashi's Maid Dragon. Oh man. Again, shout outs to KyoAni. Great show. Uh, Kobayashi's a fantastic human being. Uh, Toru's cute. It's a cute show. Uh, yeah, we don't got much to say. Just a nice, feel good show. Uh, the saga of Tanya the Evil. Uh, I have this thing. So this story, I wrote it whenever I was in high school. Of course, this is not the exact show, but like not even high school. I wrote it in junior high. This exact same type of show of like this kid who sort of you know runs an army and goes to rule the world, and it's sort of centered around like kind of World War I style stuff. So like watching this, uh, it's sort of cathartic, I guess, because it's a story that I th- I thought about before, and someone did it, and yeah, it's decent. Probably not as good as an 8, but uh, it's a good time. Very, it's dark. It's about war. You know, bit Third Reichy, but it's not glorifying Nazis or anything like that. Uh, it's just the story about a very evil militant character. Like, dude, the fact that it's a piece of shit middle manager that becomes this lolly girl is so fucking hilarious, and he's just being punished by God. Like, the show's fun. Girlish Number, great. It's a great show. It's literally the anti Shirobako. It's like, how Bakuman and Shirobako show you how people in this industry can be really hard workers. And, the people who work the hardest, they get the most. And, it's all inspiring and shit. Girlish Number is the opposite of that. It's a story about how lazy people in the industry also get what they want. In fact, not only do they get what they want, sometimes it happens easier for them. Sometimes if you try harder, you actually get less. It's the dark side of the industry where they're making this lazy isekai anime, and it's a fucking light novel adaptation, and they're just shitting it out. And like, to all these girls who are voice acting in it, to them it's the biggest thing ever. It's their work. Like, it's them. It's how they make their money and how they make their living. But it's just going to be a crappy anime that sells kind of okay, and it's really cynical and amazing. Chitose is a great character. She's such a piece of shit. Sakamoto's great. Uh, fucking just a funny anime about a perfect guy, and he really is perfect. Like, he just does all the right things, and I don't know. Watch it if you want a good time. Watch it. Kimi no Wa. I watched the movie because it was the highest selling anime movie of all time, and I think it still is. I'm not too sure. Maybe I think it might have been surpassed. But yeah, it's Freaky Friday. Um, it's not a very original story, but yeah, I really enjoyed it because of one thing where someone had told me after watching it, or maybe not someone. I think I'd read on it that Makoto Shinkai, he has this thing where he always has a main idea for his movies. A lot of his movies are about, you know, romances that are fatalized by distance or age or something. In this case, it's the story of essentially what it feels like to have to it's love at first sight. Like, what it feels like to fall in love with someone at first sight. because that's kind of again, skip if you don't want to hear it. Skip like 30 seconds. So like at the end of the anime, uh, both of these characters have lost their memories of what happened because they body swapped, and like they meet each other again, afterwards, and they just look at each other, and even though they don't remember each other, they kind of cry, and you can tell that they love each other, even though it makes no sense that they shouldn't. And the idea is that's how it feels to meet someone who you love at first sight, right? It feels like you've already walked a mile in their shoes, and these two characters literally have. So that's the whole point. It's nice and fun. It's like a whole anime put into one movie, and it's beautiful, of course, because Makoto Shinkai makes beautiful shit. Uh, that being said, bit of overhyped. Probably it works because it's mainstream, not necessarily because it's great. Uh, but yeah, Hibiki Euphonium makes me wish I would join the band. I joined the choir when I was in high school. I sang, and I'm not that great of a singer. I would have probably been really good at band. Pretty sure I would join. That's not the point. Hibiki Euphonium, bunch of cute girls who do band things. It's fun. I don't remember too much of it. I think it has this annoying thing where it's Yuri baiting, and that's annoying. But whatever, it was still good. Already talked about My Hero Academia. Already talked about New Game. I think I already talked about One Punch Man. Yeah. Arm Blower Weapons. I only like one, two, three, four types of Gundam, I think. And this is one of them. It's great. Um, my favorite Gundam is still Wing, and but this is good. It's just you know big military story about these mercenaries just trying to make their way in the world, and when your job is to kill people, it gets pretty dark. Yeah, it's a good time. ReZero, man, we're actually getting into the anime that take very long times to explain. ReZero is great. Of course, it's great, and it's only gotten better over time. Anyone who doesn't like ReZero is a retard, and I mean that. Like you're wrong. And fuck, like it's not even the fuck. People focus on like Rem and the waifus, and it's nothing about that. the the great part about this anime is Subaru. He's such an interesting character, and it's crazy because it's a subversive isekai, but also a great one. Like, it's great at the genre itself. Like usually, like an isekai is trying to like criticize the genre, right? Or a subversive isekai is trying to. But this one is also great at what it does. Just like if you've watched it, you know. All right, I already talked about real life. Real life's great. Uh, Danaganani. Yeah. Uh, cute couple. Uh, they're very attractive people. This relationship does not exist. If it does, you don't exist. You are dreaming. Yeah, it's cute. Shogeki no Soma. I already talked about how I really liked the first season. I thought it was great. Like, I thought it was like just very very good. Uh, turned out to be shit, but yeah. Attack on Titan. I'm gonna skip this because Attack on Titan deserves its own thing. Uh, Chunibyo. Chunibyo is my guilty pleasure anime of all time. I love this fucking show. It's probably not that great, but I don't know. There's just something about it. I love the characters. I love the designs. Uh, I think it's a cute story. It's annoying because I don't think any couple is this chaste, but it all kind of makes sense. It has a really good ending movie. Uh, part of me hopes they continue it, uh, but whatever. It's nice. It's a fun time. Makes me laugh. It's mad too. I've seen it probably like 4 times. Yeah. Little Witch Academia. Trigger makes good shows. Did you know that? Yeah, you should watch it. It's on Netflix. It's great. Very pretty. and just a good I actually hate Magic High School. I hate Magic High School. But if you're gonna do it as well as Trigger does it. Hyoka. Hyoka is a very it's a mystery anime. It's weird. It's a mystery high school anime, but like they do it about mundane things, and it's very pretty. I think it's KyoAni, right? Am I right? For sure. Yep, it's KyoAni. Yeah, I hope they continue it someday. Like it's a good time. It's yeah. Berserk. These are the Berserk movies. They're the 3D ones. I didn't hate them. I've actually read quite a bit of Berserk, and I didn't hate these. I don't hate CG animation as much as some people do. Uh, I think these told the story about as well as you could. And the CG, it's a bit jank, but it's not. I don't think it's as bad as people make it out to be. I think it's a fine. Like if you want to get into Berserk and you want to know the main plot, this is a fine way to do it. As far as Berserk goes, Berserk is about as dark as it gets, and it has very serious subjects. It's the comparison I make whenever anyone tries to do dark stories. I'm like, okay, you can do dark, but you got to be as well written as Berserk, or at least you have to be trying as hard as Berserk does, because Berserk has lots of it. Has It's just a dark world, and they do it very well. So like when Seo uses rape as a plot point, they don't do it well because they don't know how to make a world that or how to make a story that gives it the gravity of what's happening. And it turns out to be just kind of just bad. Just really bad. Berserk does it really well. Uh yeah. I'm not caught up with Berserk, but someday I will be. I'm pretty I think I got to the boat. I don't know. I'm scared of boats in Berserk because I've always heard, oh, the fucking boat. There's a boat that you don't get off of, and I think I'm at the boat. And I know he stayed on that fucking boat for years, so I'm kind of dreading going back to it. But I had a good time. Yeah. Daily Life High School Boys is fucking hilarious. Just a really fuck, fourth wall breaky comedy show. It's great. Am I really going to go through 100 extra in this part? No, I'm not. That'll be the end of part three. I had no idea I was going to separate it into parts, but I am because this is too fucking long to do in one sitting. Holy shit, this was a 58 minutes. Fuck me. Yeah, see you in part four. I'll go through maybe another 50.